Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all good? I hope so. Y'all listen, baby. These tables have turned and turned in ways I was not expecting. Okay, let's get into it. So the next day, Lewis called and checked on Monica after Nate pulled up at the restaurant. He wanted to make sure that she was okay and asked her what did her husband say. She told him that she was fine and that he didn't see them last night. Lewis said that he really needed to see her, and she said that she really needed to see him too. Nate made it home a little before 8 o'clock. He thought about the photos Tori threw all over his desk the entire way home. He couldn't get the images out of his head. He really wished he had time to prepare himself so that once he did get evidence, he wouldn't have been so shocked. That was one of the reasons he explicitly told Lewis to tell him when he was planning on doing it, but the boy couldn't even follow simple instructions, and that pissed Nate off, especially after everything he had done for Lewis. But Nate said that he could only be mad at himself because his wife wouldn't have been in a position if it wasn't for him. Nate wondered if he would be able to hide the fact that he knew about Monica and Lewis. Would he be able to walk in the house and not push the photos in her face? Nate opened the door and called out for Monica, but she wasn't there. He went into the kitchen and poured himself a drink, and he appreciated the burn because he needed something to calm his nerves. He looked over at the clock, and it was a little bit after 8 p.m. He wondered where Monica was and what she was doing, and then one of the photos popped into his mind. He refused to believe that his wife would sleep with that man, but he knew there was only one way to find out. He had to see for himself. He needed his own proof because those photos, they had to be a lie. Nate pulled up at the townhome that he was renting for Lewis, and he saw the Cadillac Escalade and his wife's Mini Cooper parked out front. Nate circled the block and parked about a block away and walked to the house. He stood there thinking whether he should do this or not, or should he just talk to his wife when she made it home. He decided to just wait because he knew what they were probably doing, but he didn't know why he just had to see it with his own eyes. He was about to walk away until he heard a scream. Even though it was faint and muffled, the voice was his wife's. Nate turned around and quietly put his master key into the door and let himself in. He walked across the floor heading towards the upstairs, and then he heard her say, "Shit," as if she was biting her lip or something. Then he heard someone say, "You like this? You like this, D?" And Nate knew that was Lewis's voice. At first, Nate wanted to grab a fire poker and put them paws on Lewis, but he knew that he couldn't because it was all a part of the plan. He started to turn around, but something inside of him wouldn't let him leave, so he slowly started going up the stairs. As he got closer to the bedroom, he could hear them even better. It wasn't just screams, but moans and pants and heavy breathing. It sounded as though he was hurting his wife, but he knew that couldn't be the case because she kept asking for more. Nate wanted to throw up, but he suppressed it. Nate slowly pushed the bedroom door open, but they weren't in there. They were on the deck, where Tori said they liked to screw. Nate saw Monica bent over the banister like some old rug, and Lewis behind her, holding a handful of hair and pounding himself into his wife. Nate walked into the bedroom and up to the glass. He still didn't want to believe it, but his eyes, ears, and heart told him that it was all true. He wasn't dreaming. He just stood there and watched the man that he hired off the street do things to his wife that he would never do. He was pulling her hair, grabbing her hips, taking a handful of that donkey. Nate felt like Lewis was manhandling his wife. He wanted to go out there so bad, but he couldn't because it was all a part of the freaking plan. He just lowered his head and turned to walk away. But then he felt something. When he looked back, Lewis was looking over his shoulder, watching Nate. But he didn't stop. He kept pulling her hair. He went deeper, and Monica's moans got louder. Then he told her, "Say you like this." And Monica said, "I love this." Louis said, "That's right, baby." Then he popped on that donkey hard enough to make that thing shake like an earthquake came through. Hey, bounce at it. Bop, 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 bop. Baby, Nate couldn't take it no more. He had to get on down. Once Louis and Monica were done, they just laid together on one of the patio chairs. Louis noticed how quiet Monica was. He could tell something was wrong with her, even from her phone call earlier. He asked her if he could get her something, but she said that she was fine. Louis could tell that things had changed between them after the incident at the restaurant. And Louis knew if push came to shove, Monica would choose Nate over her because they had history and she was his wife. But Louis took his chances and told Monica that he wasn't wishing anything bad on her marriage, but if things didn't work out, he felt like they should give each other a chance. He reminded her of how much he liked her and how much she liked him, and about all of the good times that they had together, not only in the bedroom. And he told her that he knew that she wouldn't have started seeing him if things were good at home. There were things wrong at home, but I shouldn't have done this. I should have never started seeing you. Monica got up off the patio chair and Louis got up as well. He wanted to know what was she trying to say exactly. If my husband would have called us yesterday, I don't know what I would have done. I felt so ashamed hiding under that table. I mean, yeah, we were having problems, some serious problems, things I haven't even told you about. I really don't know how I expected him to act, but instead I thought only of myself and my feelings. And I shouldn't be seeing you anymore, Louis. Monica, why? If that's the case, why did you come back tonight? To say goodbye, for us to be together one last time. Louis couldn't believe it as he watched Monica walk into the bedroom. He walked in behind her and told her that he never met anyone like her before, and he thought that they were really good together. But I guess I was stupid enough to think that we could have been more. Monica looked at him like she was on the verge of tears and told Louis if things were different, then maybe. She gave him a kiss and said goodbye. Nate, he had to go to the bar and get him a couple of drinks after what he saw. He came in late, stumbling, and Monica was in bed asleep. The blankets were pushed off of her, and Nate could see the smooth skin of her thigh. An image from earlier popped into his head, and in that moment, he wanted his wife. He wanted her to scream for him the way she was screaming for Louis. Nate put his hands in his pants trying to get himself ready, but no matter how much pulling and stroking he did, nothing happened. And he knew it was those freaking pills. He went into the bathroom, took the bottle out of the medicine cabinet, and flushed them all down the toilet. Then he looked at himself in the mirror and wondered if he had made the biggest mistake of his life. The next day at work, Tori's replacement told him that he had a caller on the line by the name of Tori Thomas. Nate was about to tell the new secretary to say he couldn't take it, but she said that the woman said it was urgent, so he had her to put Tori through. Tori told Nate that they needed to talk. Nate said everything he had to say to her, he already said. There wasn't anything else to say. Tori told him that she could make things really difficult for him because his wife didn't know about the game that he was playing with her, but she sure could fill her in and tell her about them too. Nate said he wasn't worried because Tori didn't have any proof and it would be his word against hers. So who did Tori think Monica would believe? Tori challenged him and said that she didn't know, but she wanted to know if Nate wanted to take the chance to find out. Nate conceded and told Tori that he would get back to her when he had time. Nate made it home with a lot on his mind. He felt like a hot shower would do him good and help him think through this Monica and Louis situation. Since he already had photos thanks to Tori's old abandonment issue having it, he didn't have to call any PIs. At this point, he could start the divorce process. And now he could call Louis and thank him for his services as well. When Nate made it upstairs, he was surprised to hear the shower running. He just knew that his wife was out with Louis. The door was open a bit and he saw his wife's voluptuous body through the partially steamed up shower door, and then Nate felt himself growing. The sensation was almost foreign to him because he hadn't felt it in so long. With all the stress he'd been going through, he totally forgot that he had stopped taking those pills. Nate started taking off his clothes. He didn't know what was happening to him, but all he knew in that moment was that he wanted his wife. Nate opened the shower door and Monica screamed, "Nate, you scared me. What are you doing?" Then she looked down at the massive pipe pointed at her and she told Nate that she was done and he could have the shower. But Nate blocked the door and told her that she wasn't finished. "Yes, I am, Nate. Let me out of here before I turn into a prune." "Well, I guess you're going to have to be a prune then." Monica looked sheepishly at Nate and said, "Nate, stop playing. Let me out of here." But he didn't. He spun her around and grabbed her by her hips as he pressed her against the shower wall. Monica was like, "Nate, what are you doing?" But Nate ignored all that and slid himself into his wife as deep as he could go. He grabbed her just like Lewis did. He went deep just like Lewis did. He forgot how good it was. He just knew he wanted his wife to scream for him the way she screamed for Lewis. Then he let out a moan, and to his surprise, so did his wife. She looked back at him and asked him how did it feel, and he said that it was the best he ever had. Half an hour later, they were just laying in bed, and Nate apologized and said that he didn't mean to hurt her in the shower. Monica said that he didn't. She was just surprised because it had been so long. She thought that he didn't even want her anymore. Nate told her that he could never stop wanting her, and at that moment, he really wanted to tell her everything. Later on, Monica had fallen asleep and Louis went down to the living room. He was thinking about what had just happened and how he truly felt about his wife. He knew that he loved his wife. Even after all the lies, he still loved her. He was just angry and bitter. But now he was thinking about what is his next move going to be? Was he just about to throw all of his hard work away? And he decided that was exactly what he was going to do. And he could call Louis up and let him know his job was complete. Have him hand over the keys to that lack and get his black up out of his townhouse. Yep, that's what he'd do. And he would take care of everything once he got to work. The next morning, Monica fixed him breakfast. She told him that she loved him and Nate said she was just saying that because he had put it on her. And Monica said, "Yeah, it was good. How about we do it again tonight?" And there it was. Normally, she'd be with Louis, but Nate now realized that was only because he was making himself unavailable. But now that he was back, her need for Louis was gone. When Monica got to work, she was smiling so hard. Tabitha needed to know what was going on with her. "Tabitha, last night was wonderful. I told you you need to stop seeing that man. It wasn't Louis. I was with Nate. We got it in last night, and it was so good." "Huh? What? Wait a minute. What happened? I thought you said he couldn't." "I don't know what happened. I was in the shower. He surprised me in there, and it was on and popping. It's like I have the old Nate back." "Wow. Well, maybe he was abducted by aliens. I don't know. But between last night and this morning, I can't even remember that new Nate. And it just made me feel so guilty. I felt like confessing to everything." "Garrett, wait a minute. Tell me you didn't do that. Please tell me you didn't do that, Monica." Well, we were sitting across the table from each other, and I guess I had a strange look on my face because Nate asked me if I was okay. And I told him that there was something that I felt that I really needed to tell him. And I let him know that over the past couple of weeks, he had been treating me dirty, that he was treating me very badly, and I was lonely. But he stopped me and said whatever I had to say, he didn't want to hear it because he had been treating me badly. And whatever I did in retaliation to that, whatever I did to get me through that, he didn't want to know about it. As long as it was over, then he didn't want to hear it. Tabitha couldn't believe what she was hearing. Do you think he knew what you were talking about? I don't know. It sounded like he did. He couldn't have, because if he did, his reaction would have been a lot different. So, are you saying that everything is fine between you and Nate? And if so, what are you going to do about Lewis? Well, I ended it with him last night. Then that's that. Everything is cool now. Monica looked down at her phone and said, well, not really. He's been calling my phone nonstop, leaving messages about how much he missed me and that there's still a chance for us. I'm going to try and ignore him and hope that he gives up. Okay, and if that doesn't work, then I don't know what's going to happen. Y'all, get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let's talk about this. What you think about Nate walking in and seeing them? What you think about Nate all of a sudden wanting his wife after seeing what another was doing with his wife? What you think about Tabitha? Do you think that she was jealous and now she's happy that Monica is back with her husband? Or is it that she just didn't want Monica to ruin her situation with her husband, regardless of how her husband was treating her? Get down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I'll talk to y'all later.